yeah.
Hey, what's up guys? Today, I'll show you a fantasy mystery thriller film, Serenity. Spoiler ahead, watch out and take care. Barker is a fishing boat captain, living a quiet and isolated life on a small island named Plymouth. He struggles to make his living as a tour guide on the island during the peak seasons. Barker spends most of his time fishing and is obsessed with catching a giant yellowfin tuna someday in his life, which however turns out to be his biggest regret so far because he has failed it so many times in the past years. He's too obsessed with his goal, and one day he even offends the tourists. He grabs their fishing rod to do the fishing himself, believing that he's going to catch his first long-dreamed tuna, but ends up dropping the client's fishing rod into the sea. Due to Barker's bad reputation in service, many clients refuse to rent his boat anymore. As a result of losing his clients, Barker can't afford his daily expenses. He becomes poor in cash, but fortunately, he's still pretty rich in his hormones. He then figures out a way to make some fast money through his hard time by comforting some soul-lonely but hormone-wanted housewives. The lonely Barker is haunted by pieces of memories of his lovely son, who seems to have parted away from the father long ago, and never meets him again after Barker starts his peaceful life on the small island. Barker is frustrated by another boring day without any harvest, so he visits a local bar and grabs some drinks to chill down his boring hormones. Right then, his ex-wife Karen tracks him down and begs him to save her and their young son from her new husband. It's revealed that Barker joined the military not long after the birth of their son, but their marriage didn't last long. He got divorced from Karen, who's later married to her new husband. After his retirement from the military, Barker moved to live alone on the current island and has never left there ever since. Karen's new husband is powerful and rich, but he seems to be abusive to Karen and her son. Sick of his domestic violence, Karen tries to run away many times from him, but to no success. Because of that, Karen offers Barker $10 million to murder her husband on the boat. She promises to arrange a fishing trip for her shitting husband, as it's a perfect chance for Barker to throw him into the sea, and that would eventually free herself and their lovely son. She tells him their son is prone to autism due to the stepfather's violence, and locks himself up all day long with computer game programming. Barker is torn between his conscience and his sympathy to help Karen, but he's still hesitating. But later, he's astonished to notice that people in the town seem to have learned of his ex-wife's murder plan, and they all wait for his final decision. Under the plan, the rich husband is later brought to the small island someday. Barker takes him out for a fishing tour at sea, while Karen waits anxiously on shore for his good news. But it turns out, Barker makes the husband enjoy a good harvest day, rather than carry out her murder plan. Karen feels very disappointed at that, but she has to hide her true feelings before her husband, who gets lit by the good harvest. So the husband books Barker for another fishing trip the next day. Later that night, the angry Karen visits Barker again for the plan, and reminds him not to miss the last good chance tomorrow. But Barker seems still hesitant. In exchange, Karen invites him to play an intimate but smelly game. 2 minutes later, as expected, the hormone-exhausted Barker promises to execute the plan gladly, claiming that he'll do that not for her, but for their suffering son. Right after Karen's leaving, a four-eyed guy shows up suddenly and tells Barker it's his best chance to catch his dream tuna tomorrow, rather than kill somebody. Frightened by this uninvited stranger, Barker challenges the four-eyed guy with a knife, who instead reveals to him that Plymouth Island is just the reflection of a computer game created by his son. In this game, Barker and other inhabitants of this island are merely AI characters, and the game goal designed for him is to catch his long-dreamed tuna. The guy further explains that he's a non-player character himself, so his duty is to ensure every character follows the program rules and plots, which definitely do not include the murder, and that's not supposed to happen in the game world. However, Barker finds it hard to believe the four-eyed guy's snelly bullshit. He bursts into anger and kicks his ass out of his house. The next morning, Barker wakes up minutes earlier than the alarm time, but only to find that he can't get up and lose control of his own body until the alarm rings. In fear, he checks the map, only to see a soundless island with nothing around. What's worse, he can't even remember how and since when he's come to the island. He's horrified when he recalls what's been told by the four-eyed guy last night. He begins to doubt whether to continue the murder plan, especially when he learns that people are all trying to stop him from doing that. To stop the murder, they even attack Karen's husband at the hotel, causing him to be badly injured and making him physically unable to go out fishing. Later, Barker challenges the bar manager, demanding to know why everybody wants to stop him. But to his surprise, the manager freezes there with no response at all, just like a player stuck in a computer game. He finally realizes he's just an AI player living in a virtual world. Devastated, Barker abuses himself with alcohol at a beach. The four-eyed guy shows up again and tries to convince him not to do the murder. The guide explains that his helpless son designed this phishing program as a way to memorize his father and also a way to escape the abuse from his stepfather in reality. However, the son seems unable to withstand the violence anymore, and so he changes the game goal for Barker from phishing to killing the stepfather instead. Realizing that he has to do something for his poor son, Barker decides to kill the stepfather. He rushes back to continue his plan. On the other side, while taking care of the injured husband, Karen makes him drunk intentionally before dragging him to the boat together with the coming Barker. Not long after that, as the three reach somewhere in the vast sea, Barker begins to throw baits into the seawater and sits the poor husband with a fishing rod. The two want to execute the plan subsequently, but to no success because a boy is sent there by the game program to stop their ongoing murder. Later, when noticing a giant fish bites the hook, the two figure out a way to bypass the program limit to kill the husband. They then tie the heavily drunk husband to the fishing rod, causing him to be dragged off the boat by the violent fish, which is believed to be Barker's dream giant tuna. Unbeknownst to them, as Barker achieves his goal in the virtual world, the son in the real world sits before the computer screen full of running program codes. He stands up and leaves the room with a knife in his hand. Days later, the news reports a murder committed by the boy, who killed his heavily drunk stepfather. It's said that he did it to save his mother from the ongoing domestic violence. It's also revealed that the boy's biological father served in the military, but died very soon in Iraq. The boy is charged with murder, but he's released for justifiable defense and kept under his mother's custody. This means that after bypassing the moral limit of the human world, the boy achieves the same goal as ever set for his father. After the incident, the boy designs a new computer game where he and his father are reunited in the virtual world. This is Daniel CC Movie Channel. Stay safe and enjoy your day.